Musk has been very angry at his detractors who manifest themselves through the short sellers. As you know, it's the most sold stock on the market. And his way of dealing with this has been a little bit more erratic as time went on. So he, I think, kind of jumped the gun or kind of went out on a limb after a meeting with the Saudis and decided that they were in agreement to take him private. It seems to be that's more difficult than he said. But having said that, let's also remember that what he's done is he's really built the automobile of the future. The platform that he has built is really, it's a computer with 4 wheels. All of the other cars are an assemblage of various components that are electronics. There's some computers. Nobody has a single computer that controls the entire car. Being an electric car, there's also fewer mechanical components. You can upgrade the car over the air. The next morning you have a very different automobile. So that platform, to me, is incredibly valuable. Has proven to be very difficult to replicate by the established automobile companies. So is there value in Tesla? Of course, there's a lot of value in Tesla. The question is, can he take it private in a realistic fashion?
We had Gene Munster on our air yesterday, who very eloquently laid out why he thinks that a deal with the Saudis, if it were to get struck and were to happen, would pass through CFIUS. What you just said is exactly why I remain skeptical that such a deal could potentially pass through CFIUS, because you're talking about next generation, highly advanced strategic technology that has a lot of implications.
I would agree that the only thing that might mitigate this is that the United States under the Trump administration has become really, really close to the Saudis. And we might agree with them that their future is also in electrifying their economy, and therefore owning a big part of Tesla makes sense.
Scott, the New York Times headline said the board is trying to rein in the CEO, but it looks to me like they're trying to protect themselves from the CEO as much as anything. I mean, Elon Musk, though, is a 20% owner of Tesla, and not only that, an executive. It reminds me of Larry Ellison's legacy position in Oracle. Do they have any hope of actually reining him in, or as an investor, do you just pretty much have to accept that this is the Elon Musk show and you're just along for the ride?
Well, it's a great question. I think Elon has sort of solved that question for the board, frankly. I mean, look, right now you've got a company under tremendous stress to perform as a public company, and you had the CEO raise his hand and take himself out and said, I don't want to be the CEO of a public company anymore. So I think the board has to address that particular comment very seriously. There's a pretty good chance this company doesn't go private. It's a very unconventional suggestion. It's been done in an unconventional way. And so they formed this independent committee. They looked like they were kind of flat-footed at first. They seem to be coming around. They formed an independent committee. I would argue they need a second independent committee right now. They need a committee that's looking at what happens if we stay public outcome, which is the most likely outcome right now. And right now, their CEO, who's also chairman and head of product, has said, I don't want to be the CEO of a public company. So I'd get a new independent director on this board quickly, and someone that can address that particular issue, because the most likely outcome is this company is going to stay public, and they have a CEO who does not want to be a public company CEO. So he's opened the door and really given his notice that he doesn't want to be the CEO of the company in a public setting. So I think that's the board's second committee that they better form, and do that quickly.
Why do you think the most likely outcome is it stays public?
Well, I'm not the only one. If you look at the stock price versus the quoted offer price of $420, it doesn't seem like the market believes it either. So it's just an unconventional deal. I'm not an LBO or a buyout expert, but it looks like a very difficult deal to pull off. This is a company with negative cash flows that would have to take on tens of billions of debt. It seems unlikely. It's not impossible, and the Saudis and others could be the ones that do it if it could happen, but I would be planning for both outcomes right now, and it looks like right now they were flat-footed. They're only planning for one outcome, which is the go private. They better get on the, hey, we're going to stay public outcome too.